Has Bronny found his balls? Yeah, good for Bronny. Say this from jump, I have always been a Bronny supporter, even though I am not a LeBron James supporter, and it has always been for me a confidence issue when it comes to Bronny James. But I will always root for this kid. I still will proclaim it, and I'll say it one more time. He did not have to try to do this with everyone criticizing him and laughing in his face, especially after the cardiac arrest. After he had a life-ending, damn near heart attack, he still decided to try to pursue his dream, even though he was already a millionaire, and even though he's Bron's kid, he still said, I want to put myself out there for scrutiny, for criticism, and to try to do something that's damn near impossible to do. He went for it, so I will always say go Bronny, even though he has had definitely his ups and downs. But I've also said, too, the talent is there. I don't give a shit what y'all say. A lot of people love because it's hard to separate him from LeBron James, and even though I'm not a fan of LeBron James, if you look at Bronny on his own, the kid is 6'2", at just 20 years old. He was a McDonald's All-American. He has damn near 41-inch vertical. He's got a nice jump shot. He has been very well trained. You can see all the training he's got from a kid and the fundamentals and being able to use both hands and shoot. He has a lot of talent and a lot of work in there. It could be a great fundamental kind of 3-and-D player. He's even said as much, like, dude, I could be Davion Mitchell, I could be a Drew Holiday, I could be somebody along those lines. But he is starting to find it, and I think a lot of it is he's finally starting to find some balls. It's always been his problem. This kid has been just timid and kind of weak in the way that he plays, which is not really even representative of how he is as a person when you consider what he's come back from. But the latest news on Bronny, he just is about to be in a G League showcase, which is a kind of big deal in the G League, the kind of NBA minor leagues there from December 19th to 22nd, Orlando, Florida. The now number 55th pick is currently on a little bit of a tear, averaging 20.7 points, 43% shooting from the field, even 26 from three, which is not great, but it has been picked up and is starting to really figure out more on the basketball court. Not to mention, he is making the NBA and the LA Lakers more money than a 55th pick ever has in history. Matter of fact, they just did the numbers. Bronny has generated over $50 million in revenue already through just jersey sales alone. He has sold already 500,000 jerseys. That is more than even his dad got in his rookie year. So, I mean, the 55th pick for the Lakers, if y'all wonder why they quote-unquote wasted it on Bronny, they've already had $50 million in revenue from a pick that usually most of us can't even remember.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Gotta love that Bron effect. But, I mean, still, he is really starting to play a lot better, which is great because if you remember, and I'll give you a quick reminder if you can get the video here for me, Corey, boy, at the beginning of the year, it did not look good. It did not look good for Bronny James. He even said one of the biggest problems right now is I have no confidence, I have no balls, I have no swagger. If you can hit it here for me.
Grow my confidence and be more comfortable while I'm out there playing. Because I feel good, but the numbers could be better, but I just got to get my confidence up.
And he was absolutely right, because when he came out, Jesus Christ, this dude sucked out loud. First 5 preseason games were bad. He had 8 points in 5 games. He shot 4 of 20 from the field. He shot 0 of 7 for 3 and had 5 turnovers. He had the worst plus-minus one night, I remember, out of 400 and something people that played in the preseason. Bronny had the worst plus-minus of anyone who played out of the 400. I mean, it was bad. T-Rex in his arms. I was like, dude, this dude kind of just timidly goes, and stands in the corner one more time, shot with no confidence, as you can see there. He was driving me nuts because I'm like, dude, I've seen you play. I've seen you play better than this. I've seen you do better than this. And it was frustrating to continue to see him struggle with something that seemed to be pretty much up here and in his head. Well, the good news is he's starting to figure it out. If you can hit the next video here for me, Corey, he is finally starting to kind of find his G League swag. In the last week, he has really kicked some ass, man. He just had 30 points. 30 points in just 25 minutes just 5 days ago. Shot 57% from the field, 3 of 9 from threes. He, again, is averaging 20.7 and 3 rebounds and 2 assists in about 20-something minutes, 43% from the field over the last 3 games. And for the entire G League season now, Bronny is up to 14.4 points per game, still only 38% from the field, but I mean, he started so low, it's starting to pick back up. So I think in the G League, he's starting to find his swag in the G League. He is starting to figure out something that I've known watching him, and I think other people, including his dad, have gotten frustrated with, which is like, dude, you actually have a lot of talent. Like, you can play. As you watch him, as you can see in the videos, he's starting to pick up his confidence. Dude, this kid can go to the rack both ways. He can shoot a good jump shot. He's obviously got the athleticism as I think they'll show the alley-oop here in a little bit. But, I mean, see that three-point shot with confidence? Do you see him taking that shot with no hesitation, no, like, Whole beginning of the year, boy, every time I watched Bronny play, he was just T-Rex. Just, I don't want to touch it. Now, suddenly, he's realized, okay, I know who I am. Look at that dunk. Look at that oop. There you go. Kid can sky, man, 40-inch vert. Can dribble with both hands, can finish both ways. Look at that hell of a finish right there. Again, 30 points just recently. And yes, I know it's the G League. And yes, I know like Cam Spencer just had 51 points in the G League. But just 2 weeks ago, you guys said he couldn't even handle the G League. Now he's starting to play well in the G League. And suddenly it's, oh, well, you know, the other people, da-da-da-da-da. He is playing better. He is starting to find his balls a little bit. I am glad for him because for a while, boy, he really did play like a nutless wonder.
This man has no
And it wasn't a talent issue. It was all in between the ears. He still has a way to go. Hit this next picture for me, Corey. I called this the swaggo-meter. This is where I have Bronny in the all-time when it comes to, like, this dude still needs to just pick up his confidence. Just, I mean, a lot of different levels. And it's kind of tough. I don't know how much you can do as far as like once you kind of are set in a certain way. It's very rare to see people really push into another category. Steve Nash would be one that come off the top of my head who started off just terrible and timid and suddenly he became an MVP. But when I look at the kind of, I wanted to make this to make a point. If you look at the swaggo-meter, as I call it, right now I got Bronny James' confidence level at least now better than Ben Simmons, somewhere between that and Kwame Brown. He's not quite Andrew Wiggins yet. There's a lot of range in the NBA from just, scared to perfect to just arrogant and stupid, which is where, of course, I got like Deion Waiters, Jordan Poole, and Swaggy P. That's too far confident. That's too far on the swag meter. And in the middle, I got, the main guys there. Steph and LeBron are kind of on this side because let's be honest, sometimes their confidence level does dip a little. Larry's in the middle only because he really is only Larry because he had that perfect mix of confidence and swag with enough humbleness to still use his teammates, where even MJ and Kobe in their heyday, especially when they were young, would sometimes have too much confidence and shoot themselves out of wins and pissing off teammates and everything else. So you have the green, which is too scared. You have the yellow, which is perfect, and the red over there with Jordan and Swaggy, which is way too far on the swag meter to where you're actually detrimental to your team. I've still got Bronny James somewhere between Ben Simmons and Kwame Brown. He still could at least get to right where that arrow is. I don't think he's ever going to be Steph or Larry Bird or Jordan confident, but he can at least do better than where Kwame was, which is kind of where I have him. He still can't seem to just get down there and grab it and say, you know what, I belong to be here too. He's starting to inch towards that way. It's getting a little bit better, but I still want to see a lot more. But it is nice because I've been rooting for him from the beginning and seeing the talent there to go like, dude, just grow a pair.
This man has no
Just get a little stronger with your own confidence and belief, and you'll start seeing results. And he is starting to see results. Just had a 30-point game. Again, is now averaging 14.4. Continues to be on the rise, averaging 20 over the last 3. Go, Bronny. I'm glad you found your balls. Good for you, kid. I like Bronny. I don't know why you can't root for a kid who came back from cardiac arrest and had every reason not to play and is continuing to do it. I think it's a beautiful thing. Moving on to a completely different subject in the